Tusalava is the first animation created by New Zealand-born filmmaker Len Lye, and it premiered before the London Film Society in 1929. Lye's film is only 10 minutes in length, and its original score by Jack Ellett has been lost to time, but it contains some of Lye's most interesting visual ideas and is a hallmark of his fascination with movement in art. Before moving to London, Len Lye spent time in Australia and Samoa learning about Aboriginal art with scholars and local peoples. These experiences directly influenced the entirety of Tusalava, even the title, which is a Samoan word meaning, in the end, everything is just the same. The shapes in the animation bear a marked resemblance to the art of Australian Aboriginal peoples, with an emphasis on connecting lines, circles, and basic polygons like triangles and squares. Because Indigenous Australians did not develop a written language before the arrival of European settlers, many simple patterns of art exist as shorthand symbols and icons for larger concepts. Aboriginal art is also usually concerned with the creation of the universe as told in local myth. These motifs are fairly clear upon viewing Tusalava, specifically toward the end of the film when some of the shapes form together into a larger organism which is informed visually by the Aboriginal styles of cave etchings and dot paintings. The entire sequence represents the origin of life for Lye, from the creation of DNA to the formation of multicell organisms, largely taken from Samoan mythology and European biology. Lye was fascinated in general with the microscopic world of cells, and the simplicity of the minuscule realm was where he saw fit to first lay his ideas on the relationship between art, motion, and life. Tusalava stands in stark contrast to experimental animation of the same time period, exemplified by filmmakers Hans Richter and Oskar Fischinger. Richter's Rhythm 21 is often characterized as a Dada film. Dada art, or perhaps more correctly anti-art, in Richter's mind being a harmony between opposites, such as reason and unreason, conscious and unconscious, and, by logical extension, black and white, as seen in Rhythm 21. Equilibrium exists in the construction of black and destruction of white, and vice versa. There is a sort of back and forth between forces present in Richter's work that personifies the tension between art and anti-art. Lye's work agrees with construction and destruction, but in a more surreal way, rather than a deconstruction into basic shapes. The film's organic structures absorb one another in a carnivorous fashion, as though they belong to a larger food chain, going higher and higher in level as each successive organism is devoured by another. Lye simulates nature to represent a recurring cycle, rather than a balance between opposing forces. On the other hand, Oskar Fischinger's visualized music, such as Study No. 7, may seem almost completely divided from Tusalava, but it is worth noting the presence of rhythm in both works. Study No. 7 is the more obvious of the two when synchronized with Johannes Brahms' Hungarian Dance No. 5 as it was intended to be shown. The flourishes of the line on screen mimic the movement of bows on a string, and the orchestra of abstract shapes expresses the unseeable motion of sound. In theory, this has little to do with Lye's film, but the pulsing of the shapes and the deliberateness of movement create a certain mechanical predictability, especially in the earlier part of the film when the organisms have yet to appear on screen. Perhaps the most apt comparison and striking contrast is Lye's own film, Trade Tattoo, from 1937. Superficially, it is nothing like Tusalava. Most obviously, Trade Tattoo is in color, and images pass by at an almost breakneck pace compared to the slow, methodical feel of Tusalava. Yet there is the same sort of rhythm between the films, not precisely the same, but similar in their meaning. In both films, Lye synthesizes the movement of the organic and the artificial into a combined process. With Tusalava, this is apparent in the stuttering motions of the organisms, which seem to move rigidly but in random directions, adding mechanical precision to organic chance. The effect is subtler in trade tattoo, where people and the everyday workings of the city are juxtaposed with inorganic shapes flitting over the screen in time to the background music. In Lye's films, the inherent motion of life is art, and it is through the medium of film that he is able to capture that idea. Tusalava is a foundational piece of experimental animation that set off the career of Len Lye in film and eventually sculpture. Its importance in establishing the artistic worldview of Lye cannot be understated. By exploring the possibilities of the motion of art through the stylistic combination of Aboriginal Australian designs and microbiology, Lye tells a story of creation in Tusalava that is memorable, unique, and a credit to the expressive power of animation.